Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar. Before we get started, I just want to say that this webinar is being recorded, and we will send everyone an email later today with a link to the recording of the webinar and a copy of the slides. So first of all, I want to introduce ourselves. My name is Rachel Hines, and I'm the Marketing Manager here at BrightPay. And today I'm delighted to be joined by Tom Kelly from Modular for today's webinar. Tom is the strategic lead for Modular's commitment to creating simple, secure, and reliable payment capabilities for SMEs and their accountants. And I'll be passing over the reins to Tom today, who is going to be presenting today's webinar. And we do also have BrightPay's Managing Director, Paul Byrne, on with us in the background as well. And Paul is going to join us for the questions and answers session at the end of today's webinar. If you have any questions, you can type them into the questions box on your control panel at the side of the screen, and we will try to get through as many questions as possible. To start off today, I want to look at why BrightPay have decided to partner with Modular. Here at BrightPay, a lot of what we do and a lot of the features that we introduce are about making your life easier. And you can clearly see this coming through in our new partnership with Modular. I know Tom is going to look at the functionality and the benefits in much more detail, but I just want to give you a quick introduction. In the past few years, payroll has transformed into a much more efficient process, where many of the manual workflows are now automated. However, until now, when actually making the payment to employees, it was a very manual process with lots of steps involved. And this is where our new integration with Modular comes in. Instead of creating bank files, you can choose a new option to pay by Modular, giving you a fast, secure, and easy way to make payments, not just to employees, but also to HMRC and subcontractors through BrightPay. For now, I'm going to leave it at that, as I don't want to repeat too much of what Tom is going to go through. So Tom, I'll pass it over to you now.
Thank you, Rachel. So Modular are a payments as a service platform, and we focus on automating end-to-end payment flows, which enables partners such as BrightPay to embed payment functionality into their software. That provides a seamless workflow for their customers. It removes many of the manual processes that are inherent in traditional payment activity that you'll be using today. When using a payment partner, it's important to have a reliable solution. Modular, we pride ourselves on our reliability, with over 99% of all of our outbound faster payments being received by the beneficiary within 90 seconds, and our platform uptime of just under 100% at 99.99. Modular is regulated as an e-money institution by the Financial Conduct Authority, and this means that any funds that are placed in your Modular account are 100% protected, as they're ring-fenced. Modular has been established for over 5 years and has been trusted to process over 70 million payments, accounting for over £50 billion worth of payment value. First, I want to go through why Modular for your business. Many of you on this webinar will be able to relate to some of the headaches caused by payroll and payment workflows. Outside of using efficient payroll software such as BrightPay, actually making the payments can become very focused on manual processes using existing processes today. Many of the pain points can lead to costly errors, as payroll needs to be right first time, every time. As well as needing to keep up with regulatory changes, which can increase your costs, especially if you manage complex payrolls within your business. So what are the benefits of an integrated payment solution with BrightPay and Modular? Firstly, it can save you time by maximizing the efficiency and removing any manual processes, By removing manual processes, you also eliminate errors and automate the workflows to make the whole end-to-end process as seamless as possible. Having access to our platform also provides you with real-time 24/7 payments. And using the security of a compliant network ensures that your funds are protected and payments are made in line with regulatory requirements. Having greater workflow transparency gives you an excellent audit trail of your payments right through from payroll production through to payments receipts into the employee's account. And all of that data gives you richer business insights with real-time data to assist you with your cash flow forecasting. Now an overview of how the solution works in practice. When BrightPay designed the integration with Modular, they were very much focused on ensuring that it didn't change what you already do in terms of running payroll. So you continue to run your payroll as normal within the BrightPay software. Once that's been completed, you will have people set up within your business as approvers, and they will receive daily notifications of any payments that are awaiting approval. You need to ensure that your Modular account is topped up, and you can do that from any UK bank by Faster Payment, Bax Payment, or Chaps. And then the approver just authorizes the payments in just a few clicks, and that will enable your payroll payments and HMRC payments to be released. Payments can either be made with immediate effect, or they can be dated for future dates. Once the payments are remitted, they will be received in the beneficiary's accounts within 90 seconds. I mentioned earlier that all of the outbound payments are transacted through the Faster Payment network. This has the benefit of removing the traditional Bax process that is 3-day cycle down to just 90 seconds, which means that you can manage your workflow in a more efficient way, enabling you to complete your payroll activity right up until the day that the person needs to be paid. Having access to 24/7, 365 days a year payment solution means that you can do the payroll at a time that suits you and make the payments and schedule them as required by your business. By having the integration with the BrightPay software, that automation will improve your accuracy and reduce any errors that you may have made using Bax files. We also have many clients that use this solution for one-off payments or emergency payments, which can be made at any time. So now we move into the product demonstration part of the webinar. So Rachel will show you the BrightPay functionality, and then I'll come back to show you how it works on the Modular side.
Thanks, Tom. So here I am in the BrightPay payroll software. And once you have finished processing the payroll and are ready to pay your employees, you can choose the pay option on the menu bar, followed by Modular. So on this first screen here, it gives us an overview of what the Modular integration is. And there's a link here to sign up or get more information about Modular. You will now be asked to authenticate your Modular account with two-factor authentication. To do this, you will need to have installed and registered Auth on your smartphone as part of the setup process. When you receive the notification on your phone, you just need to select Approve, and BrightPay will automatically log you in. I'll continue on to the next screen. And here you have the option to select the account that you wish to pay from. You can amend the payment date, you can edit the employee reference if required, and you can pick and choose which employees you would like to pay. The payment amount for each employee will reflect the employee's take-home pay on their payslip for the pay period being paid. And if you need to amend an employee's payment amount, for example, if they have been given an advance payment, you can amend this amount accordingly here, but just be aware that it won't change the amount on the payslip, simply the amount being submitted to Modular. On the final screen, there will be a summary of the payment request, and once happy, click Send to Modular. You'll be asked once again to authenticate the payment using the Auth app on your smartphone, and once approved, confirmation will appear on the screen to let you know that the payment request was successfully sent. And now the person authorized to make the payment on the Modular account can log into their Modular account to approve the payments. And shortly, Tom will show you what it looks like on the Modular side. But before that, I want to go back to what I said earlier. And as well as paying employees with Modular, you can also make payments to HMRC and to subcontractors. So if I go into the HMRC Payments tab, here you can click on Pay HMRC and then select Modular. Once again, this first screen has an overview of what you can do with the BrightPay and Modulr integration. It's now connecting to Modular, and this time I don't need to redo the two-factor authentication on my phone, as I have just used it, so it still recognizes my login as approved. The payment details will now be displayed for review. The payee will automatically be populated with HMRC Cumbernauld, and this cannot be changed. The sort code and account number will automatically be populated with HMRC's bank account details to which the payment is due to be made, and there is no need to change these. In order for HMRC to correctly identify your payment, the reference will automatically be set as your accounts office reference, and an additional 4 digits will be added to the end of your accounts office reference. And this is for HMRC to be able to identify the tax period that you are paying for. So for example, the last 4 digits here are 22, which signifies the 21-22 tax year, and then 02, which lets HMRC know that this is a payment for the second tax period of the tax year. This reference should not be changed, as it will be used by HMRC to allocate the payment to your account. And an exception to this is where there happens to be a shortfall carried over from the previous tax period, in which BrightPay will not include the extra 4 digits by default, as the payment being made may relate to more than one tax period. Lastly then is the amount, and this is based on the amount due for the tax period, taking into account any amount already paid on the HMRC payment screen. This amount can be changed if required, but where the software detects that no amount is outstanding for the tax period in question, this will be brought to your attention. So I'm ready to click Continue here. And a summary of the payment request will now be displayed for final review. So I'll click Send to Modular. A further Auth request will now be sent to your mobile device, asking you to approve the payment request submission. And confirmation that the payment request has been successfully sent to Modular will be displayed. And again, the authorized person can log into their Modular account to approve the payment to HMRC. Once payments have been successfully made to HMRC, you will need to complete your HMRC payment screen accordingly by entering the amount paid to HMRC and the payment date, and I'll save the changes. And finally, the third option is to pay subcontractors. So you can go to the CIS tab and once again select Pay by Modulr. And I'm not going to show you this one again because it really is the same as making payments to HMRC and employees. And lastly, I just want to say also that here I'm using the Windows version of BrightPay. At the moment, this modular functionality is only available with BrightPay for Windows, not BrightPay for Mac. So that's it for the BrightPay side of things. So I'll pass you back over to Tom now to show you what it looks like on the modular side of things.
Thanks, Rachel. So as you saw, Rachel has shown you how to submit the payment requests from within the modular software. So now I'm going to show you how you would sign in as an approver of those payments. So I'll just enter my details into the modular portal. Using the Auth app that Rachel demonstrated, it's the same app, I'm now approving that sign-in, and then I'm presented with my main welcome screen. So this would display any accounts that I have set up as a business with Modular, and in this example, I've got 2 accounts, and it will also show me the full account number and sort codes, and also the balances that I maintain on those accounts. As you can see here on the left-hand side, this is telling me that I have 3 payments that need to be approved. So these are those 3 employee payments that Rachel submitted. So I click into that, and I can see here I've got 3 payments to Donna, Samantha, and Simone. It confirms the amounts. It confirms the total value of all the payments that I'm due to undertake an approval for. So that's £937.96. It confirms the dates that these payments were submitted into the portal, and also the dates that these payments are scheduled to be remitted. So here these payments are due to be remitted on the 15th of July, so they are future dated. If they were to be immediate, it would say immediate in that column there. So I'm happy with those payments, so I'm going to select them all in one go. Confirm approve. It will give me one further confirmation to say I'm approving 3 payments totaling £937.96. I press approve. I will then get a push notification onto my mobile device confirming that it's 3 payments and the total value. I'll then approve that, and the payments have been approved, and your screen will therefore then show that there are no further pending approvals. Now, if those payments were due to go immediately, then those subject to the funds being available, then those payments would have gone immediately and then within 90 seconds be received within the employee's accounts. In this case, they were future dated payments, so they will be appearing here in my pending payments tray. And that confirms those payments to Donna, Samantha, and Simone, and it confirms the status as pending and the date due to send here. Up to that date, I can actually cancel those payments if there was a problem or I needed to change my mind or make an amendment. There are 3 conditions that need to be made before a payment is remitted into the payment network. So the payment needs to have come to the due date. There needs to be available funds to cover the payment within the modular account, and the payment needs to have been approved. So as long as all those 3 conditions are met, then the payment would be remitted. Okay. I'll now talk you through our pricing functionality, plans, our ways of onboarding onto the platform, and also our service and support. So firstly, pricing. So we have a number of pricing options, and these are based on the volume of transactions that you would be undertaking on a monthly basis. So our standard pricing plan is based on 25 pence per transaction, and that's subject to a minimum monthly spend of £10 for your organisation. So within that £10 that you'd spend each month as a minimum, that includes 40 outbound transactions, and any additional transactions are therefore charged at 25 pence. All of our pricing plans are subject to rolling monthly contracts, so there are no lengthy commitments, which gives you the opportunity to try the solution and get comfortable with it in a very short space of time. And if for any reason you choose not to continue, then you can just discontinue the usage. For any customers that have larger volumes than 40 outbound transactions in a month, then we offer our extra package. And when you commit to making at least 500 outbound transactions, which has a monthly minimum spend equivalent of £115, then that brings your per transaction fee down to 23 pence. Similarly, for higher volume users where the outbound volume is above 1,500 transactions, we can then bring the per transaction fee down to 20 pence per transaction, subject to a minimum monthly spend of £300. So, to onboard your business onto the platform, as I mentioned earlier, Modular is regulated by the FCA, which means that we need to conduct due diligence checks on all customers that are using our payment platform. So in order to do that, we need to capture information about your business when you apply for the account. So this would be basic details around the company, understanding who your ultimate beneficial owners are, the application director who's responsible for the account, and any details of the administrator that you would want to have access to the account. Once all that information is submitted using an online form, our team at Modular will go through an approval process, and in most cases we will approve the account within 2 days of submission. Now that's subject to all of the fields being completed on the application form with correct details. I would say that if you are planning to use the solution in the short term, that you do plan ahead and start the application process as soon as possible. This will give you opportunity to complete the application form, for Modular to go through the approval process, and then to get you set up and logged in onto the Modular platform. Simple company structures with UK-based owners will be the quickest to go through the process. For more complex business setups, then that can slow down the process, and you will be contacted by one of the Modular compliance team, who will ask you additional questions or may ask for supporting documentation. All details of customer types that are able to apply for the account are available on our application pages on the website. So how do you get started? Firstly, through the website, you'll be able to select your subscription package. So that would be choosing from the range of pricing solutions that we have, starting at 25 pence for the standard package, 23 pence per transaction for extra, right down to 20 pence for our advanced package. So you would select that as the first step, and then register your business with all the additional information that's required. Once we've reviewed your application, we'll then email you a confirmation with a welcome email, and that will contain a link for you to download the Auth app onto your smartphone, and also details of how to log into the portal. Once you've logged into the portal, you'll have full access to the screens that I've just demonstrated, and that will provide you with full details of your account and sort code to enable you to fund the account. Our solution is supported with a 24/7 customer service line, and we also provide enhanced levels of service during core working hours of 8 till 6 on weekdays. I've provided a link there to modularfinance.com/small-business, where you'll find all the details of the solution. And you can email myself and my team on smallbusiness@modularfinance.com with any questions you may have. I'll now hand you back to Rachel, and she'll be handling our questions that we've received during the webinar.
Thanks, Tom. So yeah, that was a great presentation. So the first question that I see coming in here is, how do you top up the Modular account?
Okay, so the account is set up in the standard format in the UK with a sort code and account number. So from any UK bank, you can send a faster payment, a CHAPS payment, or a BACS payment into the Modular account. And we also have some clients that would set up a standing order if they're making regular payments of regular value each month or each week, just so that they don't even have to go through the process of adding funds. So there's a number of options that you can take advantage of. And over the coming weeks, for all new customers that are on board, we'll also be adding a add funds button onto the portal. So at the point that I was showing you earlier where you would be doing your approvals, you can click the add funds button, and that would take you on a payment initiation journey into your online banking, where you would then just approve the payment that needs to be made to fund the account. And that would normally be received within 90 seconds of submitting it if it's based on the faster payment network.
Brilliant. Thanks, Tom. And sorry, I should have said there, if anyone does have any questions, you can type them into the control panel on the side of your screen. You'll just see a questions box if you do have any. So the next question here, sorry, I got confused there. Can you cancel a future dated payment that has been authorized but not yet reached the date of payment?
So the answer to that is yes. You can cancel any payment that sits within the pending area on the portal. So payments will be shown as pending if one of the three criteria has not been met. And that three criteria is either payment approved, funds received to cover the payment, or the due date has been reached. So up until all of those conditions are met, then you can cancel the payment.
Brilliant, thank you. Paul, there's a few questions here I think that will be more relevant to you. Will this pay HMRC on pay date or after the 5th of the following month?
Okay, thanks Rachel, good afternoon everyone. Well, basically you can post date the HMRC payment to whatever date you want it to be paid out. I know we do our own payroll using Modular, so effectively what I do from within BrightPay is I will, basically approve the transfer of the information of the payment amounts for the employees and the payment amount for HMRC. I'll transfer those details across to Modular. I will post date the actual HMRC payment. Then I'll log into Modular and approve all the payments, including the post-dated payment, and then I can forget about it. I'm done. And usually what I do is I'll post-date it to the 15th day of the month, just to be sure. But yeah, effectively you can put up whatever dates you want on the payments, and you, as Tom said, you also have the opportunity of cancelling a payment before it actually reaches the payment date, as long as it's still in the pending list. Just in case you've made a mistake or anything like that. Yeah.
Great. Another one for you. Is the system only available for the Windows platform? I use Mac.
Yes, unfortunately it is only available for the Windows platform at the moment. We are flat out developing our online version of BrightPay, and Modular will be a feature of that, and obviously that will be able to use that on the Mac version or on Macs as well as Windows. But unfortunately, it's not available for the native Mac version at the moment, or we don't see it being available because of our development of the online version.
No problem.
Just to add to that, if we do have any Mac users that do want access to the faster payment network, we can offer a non-integrated solution. So you don't have all the benefits here that that we've just described of the integration, whereby the payments are automatically submitted, but we do offer an interim solution which would enable you to download a file from the Mac version and then upload a file into the modular platform. So that's just, not for everybody, but if you do need access to faster payments, then that could be an opportunity for you to do that. If you are interested in that, you can email us on the email address that's on the screen.
Great, thanks, Tom. Can Modular be used to pay pensions?
Yeah, Rachel, I'll take that one. We have not set it up yet, but I think that would be definitely on our roadmap for development, because I suppose using the system myself, I can definitely see the benefits of being able to, approve all the various payments at the pay date time, and then just forget about it. So Nest and any of the other pension schemes would be obvious candidates for this as well.
Great. Tom, I think this one is for you. What happens if there is not enough in the account to cover the payments?
So, as I was mentioned before, there are 3 conditions that need to be met. One of those conditions is that the funds are available. So if any payments have been submitted into the platform that have been approved, and then the due date has been met, but the 3rd criteria, i.e. funds are not available, then they would remain in pending until the funds are credited. So the payments would just wait in a queue. And then as soon as you submit the funding onto the portal, then the payments would automatically release at that point.
Great. And can money be transferred into a modular account? Can it be transferred back to the client if there was an error where there was too much transferred to modular?
Yeah, so the account, full flexibility on that. And if you want to repatriate funds back to your bank account, then you can simply set up an ad hoc payment within the portal by just entering the account number and sort code of your bank account. And then you can instantly make a payment through faster payments, which would then be back in your company bank account within 90 seconds.
Great. The next question here is, will we be able to pay staff on weekends using this system, as it uses the faster payments instead of backs?
Yeah, most definitely. So it's 24/7 access to the faster payments network. So that gives you the flexibility to make payments whichever day you like, and you still have the 90-second SLA regardless of whether it's weekdays or weekends.
Brilliant. Once payment is received by employees, do they see a payment from their employer with the employer name or Modular's name?
So they will all show the employer's name. The way payments are set up, they will show the remitter's name as the name of the company that we have set up on the Modular account. So whatever name you put on your application is the name that would appear on your employee statements.
Brilliant. There's a question here on the pricing. By transactions, do you class each staff member paid as a transaction?
Yeah, so every payment that is being made is classed as a transaction. So if you had 10 employees and you were paying all of those 10 employees on a payment run, then that would be 10 transactions.
No problem. The next question here, can the Auth app be set up on desktops instead of the smartphone app?
Yes, you can have it on desktop and smartphone app, 2 options.
Okay. I know you covered this in the presentation, but it has come up a couple of times. How long does it take to set up an account?
So we normally say to allow a couple of days, just to allow the whole application process end to end and for us to get the welcome email out to you. That does rely on all information being completed on the application, and also is generally for UK-based companies that have a simple account structure. If your company has a complicated ownership structure, for example, then that may take longer than the couple of days, and therefore I would allow a little bit longer to allow us to interact with you to obtain any additional information that we may need to meet our regulatory requirements.
Okay. I'm an accountant, and how do I link Modular to the payroll software if I have multiple clients? Is it easy to do?
Yeah, so we have done a separate webinar for accountants earlier. So yeah, you'll be able to listen to that again, but that shows you details on the proposition for accountants, which is very similar to what we've shown today. But we also have a payment, what we call a payment dashboard, which is a view of all of your clients that are using the modular in one single portal. And individual clients are able to delegate authority of the use of the modular platform to their accountant, which would then enable you to submit payments on behalf of your clients. And it's a very simple process.
Okay, great. When do you take the subscription fee?
So when you subscribe during the application process, you will pay a pro-rated payment for the first month, and then it will be during the first week of every month. There will be the recurring payments will go through for the monthly subscriptions.
Okay. The next question here is, do funds held in Modular benefit from the £85,000 guarantee, the same with normal banks?
So Modular isn't a bank, it is an e-money institution regulated by the FCA. And what that means is that we are regulated in a different way to banks, in that we don't have the £85,000 limit. We actually have to ring fence 100% of all funds held. So you have 100% protection over your funds that are held in Modular.
Okay, brilliant. Paul, just a follow-up question on the Mac functionality here. Would the Modular for approval platform need to be on Windows, or can that be on Mac?
The actual approving of the payments is done by logging into the Modular platform, which basically can be done on anything with a browser. So either Windows or Mac in that case, or even an iPad.
Brilliant. Yeah, so the iPad there is another question that came in. So yeah, I think we're going to finish up there. I know there is a few more questions that are outstanding there, but some of them are repeat questions that have been already answered as well. So yeah, thanks to Tom and Paul for joining me for today's webinar, and thanks to all our attendees. And we hope you found the webinar useful. So as I mentioned, we will send out a follow-up email later today with a link to the recording of the webinar and a copy of the slides as well. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.